So at the time of this recording, Amazon has just released the first three episodes of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not watching it. I don't want to watch this show. I didn't finish season one. I tapped out after three episodes, and then, funny story, my friend basically made me watch the big battle episode, which was like, what, six, seven? It wasn't good. The problem I had with Rings of Power was, despite it being the most expensive TV show ever made, it didn't feel like it earned its budget. I wasn't invested in the story, I wasn't invested in the characters, all the characters were unlikable, and the show overall, the pacing of the episodes was so dull and so boring, and at the end of the day I thought to myself, why am I bothering to watch this show? I tapped out after episode 3. And the big battle episode that I mentioned was just a really stakeless, emotionless battle where I was like, this just isn't good. This just doesn't feel right. The way the scenes were constructed just felt like forced drama. It was like, Arondir, he's gonna die. No, he's not. I know for a fact that he's not gonna die. It was very predictable. Like, Arondir would be on top of a tower and the orcs are attacking the tower, and then it's like, it's fine. I know he's not gonna die. He's gonna be completely fine. That episode in particular just felt like it was going through all the cliches. It felt predictable. I knew that nothing bad was gonna happen to these characters. And then, not to mention the fact, the way the episode ends with them creating Mordor, which was just, it was so dumb. Like, there's this big ancient mechanism that somehow unleashes like a waterfall that ends up going into a volcano, and then like the explosion from the volcano creates Mordor, and it's like, what? That's, no. Like, I know this is fantasy and stuff, but that's just dumb. That just, no, where's the magic to that? It's like this weird, like, false pseudoscience contraption thing. No, I just couldn't be bothered to catch up with the show. I know that Halbrand turns out to be Sauron, which was, oh my god, a massive shocking twist. I'm being sarcastic. But also, I haven't seen much promotional material for season 2, and I wasn't very interested. Like, I didn't even bother to watch the trailer for season 2. I know Tom Bombadil's in the season or something, but I don't care. Season 1 did such a poor job at setting the foundation of this show that I'm not bothering to watch this. I'm kind of at the point in my life now where I'm just not gonna watch the things that I know I'm not gonna like. Like, when Amazon releases The Wheel of Time Season 3, I'm not gonna watch it. The most I will do in terms of covering it is maybe react to the first trailer and do a trailer reaction, but other than that, I'm not watching it. I didn't like Season 2. Season 2 was a massive slap in the face because I thought it was going to be good. It started off better than Season 1, which wasn't saying much, but it was starting off better. And then by the end of the season, it was just a massive backhand to the face, and I was like, I'm done. This show sucks. I'm not watching it. I'm not wasting my time. Same thing with Rings of Power.
Fuck you! Fuck yeah!
Now, from what I've heard about Season 2 so far is that apparently it's better than Season 1, but that's not really saying much. And overall, I'm not really interested in watching Rings of Power Season 2. It's just going to be, yep, we know Halbrand is Sauron, and Sauron is now going to become Sauron the Deceiver. He's going to deceive everyone, and that's kind of it. Like, I don't know, I haven't watched the trailer, but nothing in me is compelled to watch the trailer. Season 1 is just such a bad foundation for a show. I don't care. I lost my interest within like episode 1, but I kept pushing through hoping it would get better, but it didn't. Now, for all I know, season 2 is better than season 1, but I'm gonna be honest, I have this thing where I watch TV shows, I don't like skipping through the first season just to go to the second season. I like watching it all at once. And the thing is too is that because season 1 is so bad, I don't want to have to sit through it and endure the agony of just watching it, just so I can watch a season 2 that is an improvement on season 1. Or even still, even if I wanted to throw away that rule and philosophy and I just wanted to jump straight into season 2, I don't want to. I have no interest in it at all. When it comes to media, a first impression is important to me. As an audience member, I want to watch something and go, yeah, this looks great, this is great, I'm invested in it, let's go, season 2. But the fact is, I wasn't with season 1. And Wheel of Time was an exception because like season 1 was really bad, but I started to read the books and I was like, oh, this is pretty great, especially The Great Hunt. And I was like, I wonder how they're going to adapt it for season 2. And so it was more like I watched season 2 out of morbid curiosity, hoping it would be better. And for the most part, it started off okay, but at the end of the day, it was the same problems as season 1, just elevated. There were some gems here and there, but just overall, it was a massive betrayal as a fan of the Great Hunt book. Watching the show just butcher it, no, I tapped out. I told myself no more. I'm not going to do the same thing with Rings of Power, especially considering how Amazon doesn't even really have rights to do the stuff from the Silmarillion. They only have the appendices, and only that tells them so much. Like, they don't even have, like, specific rights to tell certain elements of the story they want to tell. So how do they even have a show in the first place? Also, the whole thing is just milking the franchise of Lord of the Rings, and I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, this isn't the same thing as Warner Brothers doing the new stuff with Peter Jackson and the War of the Rohirrim and such. This is like Amazon, like, buying the rights for something but not having full, like, story creative control. It's weird, and I'd say the difference between The Rings of Power and the newly announced The Hunt for Gollum film is the fact that Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Andy Serkis, they're involved with it, but at the same time too, that's also the creative team that was involved in The Hobbit. And the problem with the Hobbit trilogy, you can watch my, like, commentary series on the whole trilogy above, but the problem with the trilogy is that it starts off very well with an unexpected journey, but then the films, like, pad out the really short story of The Hobbit into 2 other films, and then they start, like, meandering around and then making up things and then doing, like, pointless action set pieces, and it just becomes really terrible. And that could end up happening to the Warner Brothers Discovery Lord of the Rings material, but we don't know yet. Again, it's different to Rings of Power. Rings of Power had an entire season to put their best foot forward. They said it was the most expensive TV show ever made, but you watch it and you kind of go, okay, where'd the money go? It certainly wasn't given to the writing team, because I still remember that terrible stone and boat metaphor. Like, that didn't even make any sense. But what was that metaphor? I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet. I don't really have much else to say on this matter. Like, I'm not gonna watch the show because season 1 was really bad, and I'm not invested in the show or the characters. I don't care, and so as a consumer, I am just not going to watch it. If it's great, then I'm missing out on a good season of television, but at the end of the day, Amazon had the opportunity to prove themselves with the first season. I didn't like it that much. And I also highly doubt that season 2 of Rings of Power is going to elevate the status of the show. It's going to make everyone obsess over it. It's going to reach Game of Thrones level of peak hype fandom from the general audiences. I very much doubt that. But those are my reasons as to why I'm not watching Rings of Power. What about yours? Are you going to watch Rings of Power? Are you watching it right now? Are you enjoying it? Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, follow my social media, all the good stuff. Until we meet again, see you guys next time.